Booyah. Well, damn. They tried to knock me before I could even get it cracking. Y'all know I had to come on here and blast the community pig. The community pig. Could you imagine? Now you might be looking like, first of all, damn Pitt boss don't be going live no more. I didn't unsubscribe. I done fucked around and caught you on a humbug. All I can tell you is these niggas is so goddamn happy that I'm preoccupied with being boss. Cause if I didn't have some real shit to be doing, I would lay into these motherfucking fries, so-called. But in particular, I got to go for the head of the snake. Cause everybody else in the conscious community is sucking on the dog's dick on the side of the TV just to be down. From the preacher man they got over there to the gay comedic Jabari. I don't know if I like Shaka or not. I might fuck with Shaka. I don't know. Because he be walking around with a ponytail. And it's hard to pull up on the homies and jump out on the block. And a nigga in the back seat jump out with a ponytail on the side of his motherfucking head. It's hard to, cover that shit up. So I'm not sure. Plus he kind of weak. Like he a mama boy. Like mom just cut him some bread and paved the way. And this nigga sitting around off what his mama did, reading books, thinking that he, instead of going to college and let them books count towards a degree that might get your motherfucking ass in the game. That's not what he's doing. But I'm not quite sure if I dislike him either, because I done heard him admit to some shit after his critical analyzation and determined that this dude can't live with the lie forever. Besides Satan, whole nother beast, a whole nother coward in the game. Now I kind of take my time and chop these niggas up these days, because I don't really see any relevance in the real reality of the world where the conscious community play a part in relevance to reality. Let's pick them apart. Now we in specific talking about the Sinetta University squad, all those who appear. They done launched a few people and got them above norm. We'll say first out the box was Umar, all the way quack, a real communist Marxist that claimed to be a Pan-Africanist, because the communist Marxists hijacked Pan-Africanism and turned that shit into some Marxism, which it is not. Pan-Africanism was firmly cemented into the ground before these clowns showed up. But a lot of people did that. They created a whole Pan-African Marxist communist wing that lives in the modern future, or the modern presence and going into the modern future. But that argument is really not to be had, because the audience is not ready for it. They don't fucking understand what's happening to them. So, as I sit here looking at reality is Biden doing a speech in Congress, a disastrous speech, realizing that he's pushing socialism through the door as fast as he can. For my listening audience, let's do some simple schooling. Let's start with the breakdown of socialism. A very simple one. A very simple one. Socialism, by definition, from the pamphlet, The Communist Manifesto. Socialism is when the government controls the means of production. If they're in control of that, that is socialism. But the people that we have today are not living in reality of socialism. They are trying to bring socialism into reality. Because at this stage, the free market, capitalism, is still the way of America. What do we mean by free market capitalism in America? What that means is you as a citizen have the right to own and operate a company of your own if you so desire. Own and operate whatever idea you create. You can sell your idea for whatever amount someone will buy it from you. And that is called capitalism and the free market. Now, if you into politics currently and you paid attention, mind you, I'm tying all this shit into the anti-God Sinetta, because he's such a super homosexual bitch ass nigga. And I hope when he see that title, he creep his punk ass on this motherfucking channel. It's a bunch of niggas that fit in his squad all throughout the internet and in real life. I see these sucker ass Sinetta types everywhere. They know who they are. And this is what they're creating, right? Let's start with Biden and his speech. So he goes in front of the Congress to tell the Congress, this is the agenda of my administration. We're going to expand the government. You don't quite know what the expansion of government is exactly until you start to see it unfold. So currently, if you live in a super democratic controlled city, such as bitch ass New York, sucker ass Los Angeles, we'll just use those two since they are two of the biggest cities and two of the deepest democratic controlled cities. Currently in Los Angeles, we have a transgender track star named Kyle Jennings, who turned himself into a creature and then changed his name to Caroline Jennings. He got daughters married to rappers that's losing their minds, flip-flopping all over the place, and he wants to be the governor of Hollyweird, Los Angeles, California. Perfect role model for the mindset of Los Angeles. based on the path they want to go. He's in the door, in the goddamn door. Because he has two things going on. One, he has already publicly shown us that he's mentally disabled. But he has enough sense that he realizes that full socialism can't go out the door off the top. So he has to put the frog in the boiling pot of water and slowly turn the heat up. That means you can't rush socialism into America. It'll be rejected because a full blast socialism is too hard to accept when just yesterday you could have been owning your own shit and doing your own thing. I think I'm gonna go park somewhere else and give y'all another view blast. I'll let y'all take a ride with me. You dig? Now, trust and believe me, I really don't give a fuck about doing no YouTube or even talking about these subjects. But I stay watching. I'm always aware, just enough to know what the fuck's going on. And because I have a bigger goal and a bigger mission, every so often I gotta drop a video and just drop as much information in that motherfucker as I possibly can to record that moment in time. Because there's gonna come a moment when I whip all this shit back at y'all with visuals behind it. When the moment comes, I'll be in the studio lab editing together the documentary. So mind-blowing when you hear what I had to say and you see the visuals I put to it. It's gonna come alive. Everything you disagree with me about, you're gonna be like, oh, Pitt, boss, I don't fuck with that preterism. Pitt, boss, I'm not rocking with that Booker T stem. Pitt, boss, da, da, da. And I already know that when I got on here that I was talking to a bunch of fucking idiots when it comes to real information. Not by your own doing that you just grew, was born a goddamn idiot. It's not even your fault. That's why I came on and threw my information out there. Because you was trained to be a socialist from birth. By socialism, we got Black Lives Matter. By socialism, we got Satan and the dumbass conscious community. Just because of socialism. We got the Black Panthers. Because of socialism, we got the new Black Panther Party and Malik Zulu Shabazz. I can't throw my man Hashim in there because I knew him personally and he believed in Christianity, Pan-Africanism, and he believed in capitalism. But he wasn't brave enough during his reign over the new Black Panther Party to make his followers understand that. He just said, you know what? The condition that they're in, I just need them to show them some self-defense and somebody else gonna give them the rest. That was his solution because he was in too deep. Well, I said, I get it. And that's how he rolled. Damn, what's that big ass watermark on my windshield? Is that some sticky? Oh, that's some glue from my thing. Okay. I guess y'all gotta look at that. Because I'm not turning the goddamn camera around. I don't want to look at you. But anyway, though. Any day, though, and anyway, though. Oh, I need to go in there. But I'm going to just push it down here a little bit. So, back to the point, right? As I walk down a whole lot of goddamn information, And I can't get through what I want to say about Biden's speech before I nail Sonetta bitch ass to the wall. Because I'm going to get your bitch ass for this shit. It's over with. You got it coming. Now, Biden does his introductory speech and introducing his form of a socialist attempt to take over the capitalist free trade America with his many, many henchmen. The Black Lives Matter, fat black gay lesbians, according to Jesse Lee, helping out. But see, this is why I'm telling y'all that Sonetta is an anti-God to black people, because his whole entire network is a bunch of motherfucking socialists perpetrating fraud as all types of shit that black people believe in. This was already designed through a letter in 1885 written to a bunch of black people from a white Jew who said, we need to create a talented group of people among the blacks. Let's take the top 10% and create talent that can go into all the ideologies of black people and control each facet. And we control that 10%. Now, because Sonetta is dumb as a fucking box of rocks, he's not part of the 10%. But nowadays, you don't have to be part of the 10%. All you have to do is have a fucking outlet that can reach the masses, and they can use you too. And this is where Sonetta comes in. Sonetta gave us Umar Johnson, a fat Billy Goat fraud. He gave us Young Pharaoh, an all the way nutcase, out of body experience, comedic, I don't know what to call him. He's cool. He's a cool guy. He's cooler than most. But yet, we talking about fucking information, and just like the rest, that nigga shit is all the way garbage. I don't give a fuck how big you get, how many houses you buy, how many kickbacks you get. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, you're gonna be left behind a shitload of bullshit information that's useless. It was useful for you during your lifetime, but if you fall off this planet and all we got is to click on your shit and see what you was talking about, as time go by, we're gonna be like, this is all the way motherfucking garbage, and I can't do nothing with this shit but throw this shit in the trash. This is what's happening with information that these so-called conscious people is leaving behind, just like their so-called leadership left them raggedy ass books that y'all really thought was deep. Y'all really thought Amos Wilson left you some heat. Why I go there? I read all that shit. Was it a good book? Absolutely. Was it some goddamn heat? Hell no. Why wasn't it no heat? Because if you try to master Amos Wilson's books and bring your ass in the conscious community, and that's all you get to drop is just what you learn from them books, even these weak ass niggas today gonna beat you to death with that falsified information. Now, is it some stuff you gonna learn? Absolutely. You gonna learn a little bit of here and a little bit of there? Absolutely. Are you gonna have the heat? Hell no, you ain't gonna have nowhere near no heat. Nowhere. And we could walk down the line. Now, let's take one of my guys. You know, I'm gonna go right off the juggler. I'ma say Thomas Sowell. If all I could read was Thomas Sowell books, and I said, you pick one person among your motherfucking pantheon, and you can only come out of his information, and you need to drop us some goddamn heat. Whoever you pick, guess what? You're gonna have about 40 books less than me to deal with, number one. Because Thomas Sowell, over his little life, done written more than 40 books. So I got your ass on a ton of subjects already. Not to mention, I could just use one book and beat you to death with just one. Because in a sense, he kind of goes over his paradigm in each book. You get a little bit of the paradigm, pointed and focused at different subjects, but still all in the same breath. He even give you some Marxism because he was a Marxist. So you could read books during that period and you could see the contradictions of why he stopped being a Marxist. But nonetheless, I digress. And let's take it to this point. Let's loop it back around to what's being done to you people who think that y'all learning why the politics is being subversive, deeply subversive, at a fast rate right now. You are being undermined so motherfucking fast. And we ain't just talking about the conscious community because they so soft. That shit so weak coming up out that shit. It's like, man, what? It's entertainment, you know. If you don't really read shit, you can listen to them and catch some titles of some books that you might be interested in going to read because you heard such and such mention a book. You know what I'm saying? What did they all become? What is the topic in the conscious community? If you ain't getting no money, if you ain't, in the conscious community, you really have to do your own thing. You have to practice free market capitalism if you want to be independent in the conscious community. You have to have a website, a product, a service, a brick and mortar. You got to really be on your shit. You got to add, if you don't got none of that, you got to be getting donations. And your shit got to be coming in like you young Pharaoh around this motherfucker. If you really want to be independent and push nonsense. So if you look at the paradigm of Sinetta University, this nigga got gay ass Jabari up there getting blasted by Babyface Bashir. Blasted him just the other day. Told this homosexual, you in here telling niggas they gotta get the vaccine. I mean, goddamn, you might as well bring Joe Biden on Sinetta TV and ask him, should black people get the vaccine? Hell yeah, black people should get the vaccine. That's what the Democrats gonna tell you because the conscious community are Democrats. These niggas ain't Republicans, these niggas ain't conservatives, and black people in general have a conservative view. But that generality that we talking about are the Christian-based black people. The ones that have a value for Christian morality in general have to become conservative in their values. What does that mean to be conservative in your values, right? So that would be the basic shit, like don't steal, don't kill, don't just have pervasive sex, don't be fucking the same gender that you are, these types of things. And the conscious community is chameleons. The ones that call themselves Kemetic easily accept homosexuality into their system. You could see it if you just go into a store that sells those types of things that they into. Tarot cards, stones, incense, those types of things. The whole store is based on love, homosexuality, all kinds of shit. Paganism, the store is full of paganism. Anti-Christianity, all that. And the people, they're like carefree, tatted, nose piercing, ear piercing, tongue piercing, pussy piercings, nipple piercings, piercings all over their motherfucking body. Which means that they're very promiscuous. They're extravagant. They want to go off the beaten path. They don't want to be part of that conservative Christian base of black people that they call their grandmother's religion. Because their grandmother wasn't with none of that. None of that. And this is where we come from. Now, let me give a promo shot because this motherfucking movie is so motherfucking cold. So on Prime, if you order from Amazon and you paid that premium, that Prime, so that all your orders could come to you for free, well, Prime gives you a free subscription to their Netflix that they call Prime. It's like their version of Netflix. And on it, there's a series they just dropped called Them. T-H-E-M, Them. It's about a black family coming from North Carolina to Compton, California in 1946, when there was only two families. Them and another family, black, living in Compton when Compton was all white. It took me so long to click on this movie because I was like, here goes some more of this Democratic propaganda bullshit. I'm tired of watching all these Tyler Perry fuck me films, bullshit ass Democrat propaganda bullshit. So I was avoiding clicking on the motherfucker. And then finally I just, so bored, I just clicked that bitch. I just clicked it. And I sat there and I watched the first episode. And I was like, whew, that was kind of motherfucking cold. So I said, let me watch another one. Because see, I'm from Los Angeles, so I already was raised with the story that Compton wasn't always Crippin' and always blooding and always black. I'm already knowing why the gangs started to defend themselves from these white Ku Klux Klan Democrat motherfuckers of the 1940s. I already knew all this shit. Most people that got any kind of reading books out there knew about this shit, or anybody of a certain age who actually was a young kid at the time knew about it. I know all the black cities in LA and how they were formed. I know how my particular city was formed, with about 10,000 moving into the community and forming a black neighborhood and having certain types of laws that restricted us to certain areas. But this movie went deeper than that. This movie goes into how the mortgage companies made the decision that black people were going to move into these areas. And the mortgage company linked up with the police to protect the black families from the white racist Democrats that lived in the goddamn city. This is what the movie's saying, but it won't say to you that these white folks is Democrats. It won't tell you that at all. You have to just know that. That's some shit you need to just know. Like, these white folks in this movie are not motherfucking Republicans living in Los Angeles in 1946. Hell no. These is purebred Democrats. And they feel threatened that a black engineer, mind you, he was an engineer, he studied the STEM and became an engineer, was made enough money to go move near white folks in 1946. You niggas is in 2021 and still can't afford to go move near no white folks. But if I whip around the corner right now on your bitch ass, I'ma pull up, nigga, and you can guarantee where I live, nigga, there's some white folks. See something. I see y'all niggas trying to comment, but I'm not about to talk to you niggas in the chat room. Keep commenting though. I don't mind you going in, but I ain't about to have you throw me off to entertain some side shit, emotion you having. But you welcome to comment though. So the family moves into Compton after being mistreated in North Carolina. Now they coming to be mistreated in California. But it's a whole nother level of mistreatment, because now it ain't just calling you a nigger. Now it's, I'm about to give you a high ass interest rate on a house that you can't afford until you can't pay me and you lose the house. And I take the house from you and sell it to another black person with another fucked up interest rate that he can't afford. And we're going to repeat the process until this whole city becomes a fucking ghetto that costs you $400,000 to move into a ghetto house in 2021 in Compton, California. If you want the worst they got, you better drop $400,000 out your ass if you think you can afford to live in the ghetto of Compton, California. You cannot afford to live in the goddamn ghetto of Compton, California. Hell no. Not if you one of these conscious niggas. And you can't afford it. Guaranteed. I can bet money you can't afford a house in the hood of Compton, California. Today, in 2021. But I digress. Back to the story. So the story get deeper. I'm like, what the fuck? Who wrote this movie? And you know who wrote this motherfucking movie. A goddamn Jew. They tell black people everything black people need to know. And make money while they do it. But the shit's so deep because they giving you the realization that the only thing you knew about Compton was Ice Cube and the NWA. And you never heard of Compton till you heard of NWA. Well, I knew about Compton long before NWA. And I also understood how they created the mindset of the Marxist socialists in the black community, because in 1946, across the nation, we ain't had no goddamn Marxists in the black community that had any kind of motherfucking get up about themselves. We had them. We call them the bourgeoisie. We call them the talented 10th. We call them the educated class. We call them the liberal progressives even back then. And I gave y'all the list. If you don't remember where to go find the list, you just simply Google the Spingarn medal list of the NAACP. And this list will take you back to roughly about 1920, maybe a little bit before that, and give you the name of a black person they put on a pedestal and propagated in front of you to push communism, Marxism, socialism, and being a slave to economics on your ass. And they did it through the arts and the liberal programs. This is why The conscious community didn't want to see me when I showed up with Booker T. Washington and the real Pan-African history. Not that bullshit that fat ass Umar was pushing. I specifically came to YouTube and said, you know what, Umar got so much publicity talking about that Marxist Pan-Africanism that he claimed is black power. I'm going to go ahead and break his ass down, and I'm going to go to the pre-Garvey series. So I came online like, yo, we going to talk about pre-Garvey, because I don't want these niggas to be able to have a hero that they can run to. So we're going to talk about before your heroes, before the Nation of Islam, before the Moors, before the Hebrew Israelites, before all you Kemetic motherfuckers, before you niggas had a group on a block standing there with a leather outfit with spikes on talking about you from some universal bullshit. Nigga, the Christians had Pan-Africanism on lock in every city. Organized. Schools. Programs. Economics. The real shit black people was doing. Not none of you niggas. You niggas is a birth, an afterbirth of a rejected fetus. That's who you niggas is. Is these niggas doing a dope transaction right here? This nigga got stacks on it. Let's zoom in. Let's be nosy. Let's be nosy. These niggas out here with stacks. I should jump out, pull my pistol out, take all that money. Tell them, nigga, my name's Sonetta, bitch. Look me up on YouTube. You want your money back. Let's see what this nigga talking about. All right. I'm just reading some of what you wrote. I ain't gonna mention now. I'm just seeing where you at with it. Okay, I'm gonna give you something. Yeah, I caught them. I don't know what they doing and why they feel so safe running around this motherfucker. Goober ass niggas too, with pockets full of money. Call it the PPP transaction. Look at this nigga duck walk. Y'all can't even see this clown. This nigga's a clown. It is what it is, right? Everybody gotta get $1. Everybody gotta get $1. Get it how you live. Okay, so 1946 in Compton, this black family called Them, on a movie on Prime called Them, was living through hell at the hands of some Democrats. Same Democrats that you see today. And we talking about that ideology in their mind, except at that time, the reality was the Democrats wasn't comfortable living around the blacks. Now they've decided it's certain things they move past. So the people that the conscious community refuses to identify as racist, they just like to not mention them. And since Trump went away, the racism card is just out there, but not really out there, because now the only motherfuckers who could be racist is Republicans. That's it. According to these sheeple niggas that call themselves woke, which is a double speak word that means I'm all the way motherfucking asleep. I'm so asleep that I'm asleep with my eyes open and my mouth open, and you think I'm awake because I look like I'm awake and I call myself woke, but I'm asleep in a motherfucker because I believe in spirituality and not religion. I still don't understand what a dumb ass Kemetic motherfucker mean with that sentence. You spiritual but not religious. Nigga, have you read a fucking dictionary? Anything spiritual is an organized situation which would then fall on the definition of a religion. You can have the religion of science, the religion of nature, the religion of the Bible, the religion of Islam. All of these things are knowledge, and knowledge means science, and religion is a science, because science means knowledge, motherfucker. Just get a fucking dictionary and learn the art of language. And your thinking, your critical skill thinking would rise. Because you would finally realize that what you're saying doesn't make any motherfucking sense in the English language. And the only language you know how to speak is English. Any language you can actually write, read, and comprehend on a small scale, because you certainly cannot comprehend English if you believe in spirituality but not religion. Sometimes you just gotta leave these niggas alone. Just let this nigga float in his misery of confusion. They're happier living in confusion than if you try to correct them. You'll only piss them off and create an enemy because you just wanted them to be brighter than they were. But I digress. Back to the story. So as we take what the Jew created from the talented 10th that he taught to go out and about among the Negro class and capture every aspect of thought they think and lead them to communism. Ultimately, there are stages to communism. Stages. So right now, the liberals say that capitalism is evil. But the conscious community says they don't want to work for the white man. They want to work for themselves. Well, if you want to work for yourself, by definition, you have to be a capitalist. You can't work for yourself while trying to support Black Lives Matter, dumb nigga. Because Black Lives Matter believes that they are trained Marxists. This is what came out of the leadership who just bought $1 million homes in Beverly Hills on your ass off donations or payments to subvert the vote and lead black people to economic slavery. And you got all these motherfucking conscious community channels going in daily. One of the dumbest, well, I'm gonna pick two of them because I can't tell these channels apart. One calls itself the Black Professor of Truth, and the other one calls itself the Black Authority. I'd be thinking they the same, I'm not sure. But I guess they different, but they run together. I don't know what it is. Both these niggas is ignorant as fuck, but sound like they know something about something. And they go live every day for several hours. And they like above Sinetta. Like these ain't the kind of channels that fuck with Sinetta, but they fuck with everybody that fuck with Sinetta. Umar and Tariq Nasheed and shit like that. Because they going for numbers. So they say, you know, Sinetta is kind of like the ghetto of consciousness, and they don't really want to be in the ghetto of consciousness, so they kind of reserve themselves for middle class consciousness. Sinetta, did you know that your dumb fucking ass is not considered middle class consciousness, that you're considered the fucking slums of consciousness? Did you know that? I can prove it. I can prove it by who you can't get on your show and who you can get on your show. I could prove it by just that. You know I'm coming for your ass, but now's not the time, not this particular video. I'm just gonna drop some information in this one. But there's gonna come a day, nigga, when I go live in full production with a full campaign to smash your bitch ass way harder than the first time. You think that Israel Doctrine Revenge video I dropped hurt your feelings? You're not gonna be able to fuck with this catalog of information I have collected on your bitch ass and your community. And you know I'm gonna be balling like a motherfucker when I drop it. So I'm not gonna give a fuck what none of you niggas talking about. And you know I'm not gonna need a dollar donation from one of one of you motherfuckers. If I had to rely on one of you niggas supporting my shit, I'd have been out the game from the rip. But I didn't. And y'all can't fuck with me now. At all. I just don't show you what you want to see. I can, but I don't. I give y'all a little snippet here just to tease your motherfucking ass, but I ain't showing you niggas shit. I ain't trying to impress none of you niggas. At all. So, I want to bring y'all full circle to the double speak. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about double speak, you need to type that in, William Lutz double speak, and go watch some 25, 30-year-old videos on YouTube when he laid it all the fucking way out. It's 2021. I let these people breathe. I gave them some room to see what they'd do. Just to see. I knew they wasn't gonna do shit. So here's the socialist network of consciousness. You got the Democrat Party, the news, the liberal news media, the conscious community, and all things foul in the hood, gang banging, all the rest of that shit. All fits in the liberal circle of ideology. That would be America if you got rid of all of the conservatives. The only thing would be left. Let's get rid of all the people y'all call conservative, racist, and the rest of that shit you don't like. Let's just remove them from America, and what shall be left? Gang banging was created by Marxist socialists. All the early gangbangers came out of the Black Panther Party, which was Marxist socialist, and created a Marxist socialist revolutionary gang members. So they would still be here. The Black Panthers would be here, pushing Marxism and socialism, but they wouldn't have an enemy, right? Because their enemy is only the police, the racist police, but I think police in general. So now the new not the new Black Panther Party, Black Lives Matter said defund the police. So let's say we give them what they want. We building the socialist America that they pushing. So we gonna defund the police. So now there's no police. We gonna bring in these community motherfuckers, 10,000 strong community motherfuckers who gonna ride around in a bullshit ass car, underfunded, with no authority to put no work in on nobody. They gonna become your police, and they gonna be operation controlled by George Soros, because he'll still be here funding all this shit. Donald Trump gotta go. He won't be here. You won't have to be able to worry about him. Booker T. Washington and all the Pan-Africanism. See, Pan-Africanism could not be here with you guys. because Pan-Africanism resides on the side of Republican, conservative Christians, and they can't be here. All the Christians got to go. They won't be here. The criminals, they'll be here. The drug addicts, they'll be here. The perverted, they'll be here. The child molesters, they'll be here. The Democrat Party, they'll be here. The Socialist Democrat Party, they'll be here. The Constitution, gone. There'll be no Constitution. You will not have a Constitution if you get arrested, nigga. You will go in court at the mercy of the court. And they will do to you whatever they want, because socialism says, let the government control the means of our production. Therefore, the government has to control jails. So jails will still be here for you niggas. There'll be no more owning a motherfucking thing. That won't be here no more. You won't be able to own shit. You'll be able to find you a job. All of you will live in the same size house, about the size of a 1-bedroom apartment. Everybody get a 1-bedroom apartment. That's it. Nothing else. You can't own 2. You can only own 1. You'll have cars, but they'll only be electric. You'll drink water that comes from their facility, and that's it. Coca-Cola will be here. Facebook will be here. Twitter will be here. But all y'all little bitty companies that you're all small business, gone. Nobody will own a small business, you dumbass niggas. You won't. There'll be no siding of the TV. That's a good thing, right? Socialism will put your bitch ass out of business, you dumbass niggas. There'll be no more groups that go against the government, not one. All the groups going against the government will have to go. There'll be no Black Panthers, none of that. Even though they was Marxists, they were revolutionaries going against the system, and there'll be no going against the system. There are 2 movies you could watch written long time ago about this shit. One is called A Brave New World, written in the 70s, or it came out in the 70s. Another one is called 1984, George Orwell's. I done talked many days about this video, did many movies about this. It was written in the 40s, came out in the 60s, came out again in the 80s, and they may put that motherfucker out for you again one day with some new actors in it. It's a whole new generation that never heard of it. Wasn't born. Don't even know who George Orwell's is. All of these companies and businesses you see, they'll all be government controlled. Everybody will take a vaccine no matter what the fuck is in it. You will take a vaccine shot, nigga. You will take one. They wouldn't give a fuck what you talking about. Everybody will get free health care, and it'll be the worst fucking free health care you ever heard of in your life. If you got a fucking broken leg, stand in line, motherfucker. It's 100 motherfuckers in line with a broken leg. Get in line, nigga. Here's an aspirin till we can get to you. This is the world that you niggas want. This is the world you want. Could you imagine going to court and you have no more rights? Since you niggas make the claim that the Constitution is the white man's control. Okay, we're going to remove it. And when your ass get to court, do not tell the judge that you have rights. There'll be no more rights, motherfucker. There will be what the government says is all that is law, whatever they decide. This will be a level of slavery you have never known. This will make the American, the transatlantic slave trade look like a candy store. This shit gonna have you, and guess what? They gonna let you niggas walk around free, going back and forth to work like ants on an anthill. Nah, nah. See, right now, you don't have to follow these rules. This is light work. Capitalism still exists. And thus, you could tell a motherfucker, fuck you. In a government building, they control government land and buildings legally. And they have mandated rules on government property. You don't have to wear no fucking mask. You wear one because you want to go in the grocery store and get your ass some cupcakes and Twinkies and Coca-Cola and all that shit. And so you put one on because you want to participate in somebody else's shit. You wear a mask because you work at a job and they tell you, motherfucker, wear the mask or leave. And since you want their check, you wear. Nobody's making you wear a motherfucking thing. That's in your imagination. You gotta think critical when you come to my page. Do not blurt out what you just be thinking on a regular, because I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna put it on a cross and burn that shit, because I'm not here to entertain the low level thinking. I'm here to raise your consciousness like a comedic yoga master. I'm gonna raise your vibration. I'm gonna make you levitate. You bring your ass over here. The problem is, you're gonna hate to levitate. Because you're like, this nigga right here, he do not deliver this shit any kind of way to make me feel good in any kind of way. Hell motherfucker no. Go over there to the woke if you want to feel good information. I'm not here for that shit. You niggas, I do not have a Snapchat on this motherfucker. None of that. I'm not here for your entertainment. If you entertained, that was a bonus. You got a bonus. I'm here to raise your vibranium. I'm here to let your consciousness kill your reality. That's what I want. I want your consciousness to crucify your reality. Because the reality you living in, the way you thinking, you supporting communism, socialism, and Satanism. And you know, if you support Satanism, I'm not fucking with you. I can't tell you the numerous girls hit me in my inbox trying to befriend me, hanging out with the real Black Atheist, and I had to burn their ass down. Get your bitch ass away from me, nigga. I'm not in it for that. And I only do that on YouTube. I don't do that in real life. In real life, I don't give a fuck what you believe. I only care about your character in real life. Just your character. I don't give a shit what you do. I don't care if you gay. I don't give a shit if you white. I just care about your character. If I can't fuck with that, I'm not fucking with you. I don't gotta ask you what God you believe, what books you've been reading. All I need to know is your character. Because there's a disease that controls their character. Yeah, the niggas in America. Sometimes that character make them think that they better than me. Because all these niggas got a little bit of this in them. So, on YouTube though, I care about your worldview. Are you talking to me? What would you like? How can I assist you today? You don't have to erase nothing. Just speak on it. Cause I might not go live for that. Who knows? You know, I gotta be led by the spirit to turn this thing back on. Led by the spirit to turn this damn thing on and talk to the Googles. I'm gonna call y'all the Googles because there's too many of y'all. Yeah, I still got it. I can afford my payments. I'm still in it. You see it? You see it? I can still afford it. This motherfucker costs $1,000 a month if I add the gas. Probably more than that. Because I burn $50 a day in this motherfucker. And Biden ain't making it no better. The goddamn gas price going up, 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 and up. We call it taxation through the gas pump. If they gave you a $1,400 stimulus check, they gonna snatch it back after you drive 1,400 miles in your car. They done snatch that back. And if you drive 3,000 miles in a month, you done fucked that whole check off in 5 months. They done snatch your stimulus back at the gas pump. I'd rather for you to brought the gas down to $1.25 and never gave me $1,400. How about you do that? Keep your $1,400 and bring the gas price down to $1. Let's do it that way. I'd be so much better off. But no. You got motherfuckers who ain't had $500 in cash in their pocket in months and months and months and months. They like, nigga, I ain't had $500, I don't know how long. Shoot me the $1,400. Let me feel a little sense of security for 30 days. And they want the goddamn $1,400, and now you're going to get $4 gas prices. Very shortly. For all you rich niggas who able to buy a house, guess what you going to get? You going to get what they call underwater. I want you to go get a picture, put it in your living room of a house that's under the water. And I want you to hang it in the living room and look at that motherfucker till you realize that's your house. And your shit is underwater. It's not physical water. It's the water of currency. The flow of energy just flowed over the roof of your house, and your precious little 170,000 if you living in the South, and your 350,000 if you're living in a popular city, and your $600,000 house if you out here hustling, and your $1 million house if you found a way to get the fuck out the hood, has now went the fuck underwater. And what that means is you owe more money than this motherfucker worth, and you're fucked. Because you voted for a fucking socialist, like a dumbass. And you allowed these motherfucking global masters to hit the reset button on y'all motherfuckers. And all this money they printing, this paycheck protection program, eradicated. Oh, and for a few of you niggas who bought that Bitcoin that Pitt boss told you about when it was $700, now worth in the realm of 50,000, they got something in store for you too. It's called the digital dollar. It's going to be centralized digital currency. And guess what? The government, the socialist government of America, could take your social credit score that you don't even know what the fuck a social credit score is yet, but you got one. And the same way they throw your ass in Facebook jail for just saying something that they didn't want you to say, they can hit one button and everything you own is frozen. And you gonna go shoot yourself in the head because you don't have access to nothing. With the greatest of ease, every transaction that you ever transacted will be on record. Everything. And they will have full control of how you live and how you think. You know, often people say you can judge a person by just looking at their bank account and seeing what they buy and pay for. And through those things, I could tell you all about this person. Alex T, shoot me a snapshot of your bank statement. You ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do that. But if you did do it, I could tell you what type of person you are. In 30 days of transactions, I could tell you your habits. I could tell you your faults. I could tell you how many pair of shoes you got in the closet. I would have your ass under my microscope. This is the power that you're giving to the government. When you vote for socialism, government control of the means of production, y'all don't have a clue. It has never worked, mind you. Everywhere has been tried. It has never worked. The people who want it to be are anti-gods. The ones that tell you Christianity is evil. Do you know that Christians in China are persecuted under the Buddhist Confucius government, the communist, socialist, Marxist government of the CCP? They crucify this particular group because this group believes in freedom for the individual. And that is not an agenda of a communist country, that an individual gets to be free to do what the fuck they want to do. Are you crazy? But we're slipping into it. Now, in order to emphasize socialism to the point everybody accept it, there has to be bloodshed. It's going to be a dangerous time because it's a difference in who's fighting for what. People that fighting for the freedom of themselves fight harder, longer, and stronger than people who fight to condemn you to some form of enslavement. This is why they use tactics like subversion, because they're masters in that realm of subversion. This is why they use tactics like propaganda, because they're masters in these realms and they can control masses of people with small amounts of people. So when you look at the ideology of the conscious community and you realize that the conscious community is against freedom based on the heroes they have selected that give us false information. I could go into great details in specific subjects. But let me choose one that kind of surmise all of it together. You have two paradigms going that's popular. One paradigm says we evolved into what we are. Natural selection. These are scientific terms. You have another group who says a divine creator outside the realm of time, space, and energy that does not exist to the creator because they say that the creator created those things and therefore it can't be affected by what you create because you created it. These are the primarily two groups. I know. We could subcategorize it into multiple groups, but that would just be too much thinking for my selected audience. So we're going to keep it simple and we're going to say there's just two groups. Jump in one of these categories at your will. Either you agree that there is a divine creator, or you agree that some miraculous happen chance that an atom bumped into another atom and created a catastrophic explosion. Let's call it the Big Bang. Boom. And then all of this magical things begin to happen naturally. Jump into one of those boxes and let's examine what the facts point to. The facts say that a tree is a complicated organism that is precisely designed. The tree sucks in CO2, delivers the CO2 into the ground, which feeds parasites that eat on the roots of the tree, that give off nourishment to the dirt, that in turn feeds the grass that grows, and this cycle continues. A complex community. The human body, a very, very, very vast and complex organism. Did you know that the human body cannot digest plants? Did you know? Would you like to debate Pitt Boss and disagree? Anybody? By a raise of hands, anybody disagree with Pitt Boss that the human body cannot digest plants? Trust me, I'm gonna bust your head if you fucking disagree with me. I'm gonna bust your. All my questions are always setup questions. Always agree with me, because if you disagree, and a lot of you love to, I'm gonna bust your milling to the white meat. Let me break it down. There is an organism that lives in your gut that devours the plant. It lives off the plants that your body eats and shoves down your pie hole, down your throat, into your tummy to these organisms. They live totally separate. They are totally a separate creature than you, but they live inside of you. And they devour the plant. And when they excrete the energy of the plant, your body can receive that. They live off the food you eat, and they give off food your body can digest. It's called harmony. And your body, if you consider every different living thing that lives within you, your body is a complex community of 1,000,000 communities that live on your body. Ain't that a bitch? And according to the evolutionists, all this shit just happened by chance. Just so happens that that little bug that lives in my tummy that devours the plant just happened to creep and crawl up in my shit, which allowed me to exist. Without him, I'd be dead. Yeah, there you go. I love you, Alex T. Alex T. Symbiosis. You are certainly a scientist. Ain't you in Texas? You are certainly a smart person. Thank you for being in the chat room. Because you helped me bust these niggas up. I knew that you was listening, though. And I knew you knew what I was talking about before I said it. Symbiosis. I didn't want to give them that detail, but since you did, we can go ahead and let them vibrate their vibraniums at a higher level. You exist on this planet because of a word Alex T sit in the chat room we call symbiosis. That is when two separate organisms join the forces for survival. Ain't that a bitch? If that's not a designer, if that's not evidence of divine design, well, let's go a little further. Let's take it one step further for you all. The fossil record. You ready for this, Alex T? The fossil record is a recording of history buried under sand over time. In order to create a fossil, an animal, an organism, a living tissue would have to be buried in the sand quickly and deeply. So deep that organisms that live in the dirt can't bury down to the plant or the animal and devour it like it would do you 6 feet underground. You would turn into maggot food. And the maggot food would turn into fertilizer. And the fertilizer would be eaten by the plants. Does that make plants carnivores? Couldn't you say if a plant can take cow fetus or human fetus or a human body and then break it down and then absorb its energy into itself to grow, that plant is a carnivore? And then the carnivores, the people made of carnivorous things, the meat people, they eat the plants and claim to be vegans. What kind of dumb ass backward shit is that? The plant is eating meat deteriorated into the soil and sucking up the nutrients of the plant or animal in the soil to grow. And they claim that plants are vegan. Ain't that a bitch? Guess they never been to school before. Because the plants I know, they eat meat. You don't believe me? Bury something in the ground and watch the flowers grow off it. Watch the mushrooms grow right the fuck up off of it. And if it's not living off the thing that's buried there, go somewhere else where nothing is buried and tell me where the flowers are. Tell me how the nutrients got in the ground. By definition of intelligent people, plants are carnivores. Case closed and suitcase filled with clothes. Pitt boss, I suppose, is on another fucking level. But let's go back to the fossils. So the fossil record, the evolutionists say, are millions and millions and millions and millions of years old. Dinosaurs was around 100 million years ago. Until we started digging them up and observing them. And we realized that they have dinosaurs buried in the middle of America. Did you know that they have a fossil of a whale in the middle of Utah? In just the middle of America, a whole whale, fossilized. I know what you're thinking. Well, America used to be underwater. It used to be an ocean. Well, then how did the whale get buried in the ocean in the middle of America? Or was the whale swept from the ocean over the continent dropped off in Utah somewhere, and the water pushed on out to the Pacific Ocean and created the Pacific canyons that are underneath the ocean. We call it the continental ridge, Alex T. You agree? The continental surface and the continental ridge. Do you agree? That water created the continental ridge as it swept off the surface of America. Do you agree? Do you agree that the Grand Canyon was formed by water? Or do you think a meteorite came out of the sky, blew up in Utah, and created the Grand Canyon? Which shall you believe? Don't let your lying eyes tell you. You got to study to show yourself approved. I never looked too deeply into the fossil records and or carbon dating, but I am suspicious about all of it. Skeptics. She's a skeptic. That is great. It is good to be skeptic. Well, I have looked into it very deeply, and there are two opposing ideologies. There are the creationists who believe the record of the Bible, and there are evolutionists who come up with hypotheses of their own. You cannot carbon date a rock. You cannot carbon date a rock. Carbon dating is all the way flawed. I'll give you an example. Scientists in 1984 took a rock that blew off Mount St. Helens and sent it to several laboratories and told them, tell us how old this rock is. They came back with 50 million years, 100 million years. They came back with all kind of dumb shit. And they just laughed, said, nope, this was formed in 1984. Sorry. And just destroyed them. Destroyed them. Here's another thing you'll learn if you go look in the fossil records. Alex T and Blood Raw, since you guys are participating, Blood Raw Truth. What is oil, black oil out the ground, made of? Doop, 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 doop. What is oil and coal made of? Sir and ma'am, give me an answer. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Just try your best. Try your best. Blood of the earth. Oh my God, this nigga is a full member of the conscious community. You are now a certified Sinetta University student. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Alex T? Oh my God. See, Alex T, God damn you cold. Yes, Alex T. Oil is a derivative of plant material. Where's the most oil in America? Texas. Where's the most coal in America? Along the East Coast. Now, what is the difference between the two? Because they're both made of plant material. Where coal comes from plant bark, layered and layered and layered. That means plant bark is just piling up and forming coal. The coal mines of Virginia, the coal mines in North Carolina, and all along the East Coast, there are coal mines everywhere. We used to be a nation that fully had coal cracking. And in Texas, tons of oil. And guess what? In order for the plant to turn into oil, there must have been lots of plants. And those plants had to be buried under the dirt. And then they sat there until they formed into oil beds and coal beds. Well, here's what the scientists have said. In Virginia, the coal mines of Virginia, as thick as they are, they can determine how much plant matter this is based on the thickness of the coal. But not only do they find the coal, they also find fossilized plants. The evolutionists have described various plants of living millions of years ago. Certain species of plants that they found in fossil records. And because they say that the fossil records are 100 million years old, these plants no longer exist. Only for these plants to pop up in some Asian garden on the other side of the world, still living, still breathing in CO2 gas, still producing oxygen, hardly extinct, baffling the evolutionists. They don't know what the fuck that just happened to them. But here's an interesting thing. One of the fossilized trees that they found in a coal bed was completely hollow. The roots were hollow. The tree trunk was hollow. The branches was hollow. And they said this tree is hollow and it is part of a forest of hollow trees. And it floated on top of the ocean. And a great wave came along, swooped all the forest that floated on top of the forest. On top of the ocean, pushed that shit and smashed that shit into the mountains of Virginia and turned them into coal. Sounds like a flood. It is the description of a flood. And based upon when they believe the flood occurred, from a creationist standpoint, 5,000-6,000 years ago, this whole bed of coal was created. No, yeah, let's go with that, 5,000 years ago. But prior to the flood, America looked like the Garden of Eden. Plants everywhere, trees everywhere. And we have the evidence that all this shit was buried under the dirt. But the evolutionists say, well, sediment fell upon it over millions of years and buried it. But fossils don't work that way. You can't create a fossil by just 1 inch of dirt every 10,000 years being laid upon it. It doesn't work that way. It has to be piles and piles and mountains of dirt smashed on it all at the same time, buried under thousands of feet of dirt, and then it can become fossilized. This in itself is evidence to the fact that the creationists have a better understanding of what the world used to be. And guess who don't like the creationists? The motherfucking Marxist, socialist, communists of America. They really don't. Where the fuck do you get this information? See, Blood, Truth, Raw, you the reason why I need to be going live every day. And Alex T is the reason why I need to be on the beach with a mango drink, kicking it. The difference between the two of y'all got me woe the fuck out over here. But it's all good in the hood. It's all good in the hood. I ain't tripping. Now I'm got Alex T about to do all. I got the information for you, Alex T, on the fossil records if you want it. If you want me to take you straight to the source so you can get your microwave education on in a month and be as cold as me, that you're gonna come off the dome with this shit all day long. Now y'all can Google everything I'm saying and go try to bust me. What does science mean? I just told you what science mean about 30 minutes ago. Please repeat it if you're paying attention. What does the word science mean? It's Latin for another word. It's Latin for another word. What is the word science derived from what word, and what does it mean? I just told you the answer now, damn it. See, if you jump out there in that chat room, you're going to be graded on where your conscience level is. Do you have the conscience level of a Satanist or the conscience level of a God? There's a big difference. Since Blood Raw don't want to look ridiculous, I'm going to go on and tell you again. Science comes from the root word, knowledge. Knowledge is what the word science is derived from. If you get knowledge, you got science. You cannot separate the two. So while these dumbasses like the Black Atheist run around talking about he believes in science, what he really means is he believes in knowledge. And what one person says they got from God, the word was knowledge. Both receive science. You cannot separate science from knowledge and knowledge from God and God from science. It cannot be done. It is synonymous. God is science, science is knowledge, and knowledge comes from God. Ain't that a bitch? I better get off this damn thing before YouTube come over here and expose me to the black conscious community. Now, as I sit and watch these knuckleheads make absolute fools of themselves and get no credibility in reality, conscious community gets zero credit in reality. In reality. Alex T says, her education and degree field doesn't teach you how to think, rather to react. Oh shit, okay. Let me see. Rather to react, damn it. Rather to react and be able to cram what they taught us. Well, you're talking about studying for a test. But we're talking about living in reality. You go into reality with all that you have consumed. And that's reality. Reality isn't your degree. Reality is what you can do with your degree. But critical thinking is about having basic knowledge of God. Basic knowledge of God. With that, you can unravel the mysteries of the universe and become above the rest. Without it, you have to rely on idiocy in the form of education. What we call education is really idiocy, what we call dumbing down of America. Because we put knowledge, science, into categories and remove it from its source. But once you get rid of all of the evolutionary anti-God thinking and you only operating off the fact that knowledge is God and God is science and science comes from knowledge, science is knowledge that comes from God, a divine source who's outside of space, time, and matter, does not affect this eternal being, and that time had a beginning, matter has a beginning, and space has a beginning, but the divine has no beginning. Sometimes we try to focalize on that in a physical way, and we try to think about that in a physical aspect, and it blocks our critical thinking skills. This is why they say, do not try and fathom God, because you're going to use all the wrong skills to do it and come up with the wrong conclusions. If you just simply understand facts, a fact is that time has a beginning, but the eternal creator of time does not. Space has a beginning, but the eternal creator of space does not. This is all you need to know in order to begin your process of critical thinking. This is why I fall not for none of the dumb shit. I don't even have to pretend to be entertained by foolishness, because it's just not going to compute. It's immediately erased out of my whole memory bank. I do not even fall for it. As soon as they say anything, I could categorize it. Yep, that's Marxism. Get rid of that. It's not going to help critical thinking. Alex T, I recall back in the day, you didn't want, your job to be like associated with what you entertain yourself with on YouTube. And because of that, you missed out on an opportunity to be able to communicate one-on-one with someone who would speed up your degree. Because I myself, I was not programmed by the system for the knowledge that I have. What the system did for me was prove that it was against God. And I was able to use critical thinking to destroy the system from overtaking me and programming me into a Marxist. Once you become anyway leaning towards socialism and Marxism, you become a walking contradiction immediately. Because you'll be like, let's use the Black Atheist, because he's about the dumbest motherfucker I ever heard of. So the Black Atheist, Unc from the Amun Ra Squad, he would agree that evil exists. But he's an atheist, meaning he doesn't believe in theism. He is an atheism against the theoretical ideas that there is a God. So if there is no God, there can be no evil. If there is no God, there can be no good, because good is God and God is good. Everything measured is based off the measurement of God's goodness. And therefore, if you make the claim that there is no God, then there is no good, there is no evil. It is relative information. It's the individual's idea of what is good and the individual's idea of what is evil, and it could be different with every individual. But the reality is, across the planet, we can agree on things that are absolute, such as rape. It is absolutely evil across the planet. under all circumstances. Murder is an absolute evil. But if you believe there is no God of any sort, of any type of God, then you have to believe in relativity, that everything is relative. This makes no sense in logical, critical thinking. This is why we create the left, and they create these obscene ideas, critical race theory. And they use doublespeak words in order to fool you. It is imperative that you go watch the movie 1984 and sit through it. It's a hard movie to watch if you are anti-goodness, if you are anti-God. It's hard to watch because it's going to be beating you up inside. But according to what's going on in politics today, what Biden is pushing in his address last night, it is obvious we live in the ideas of the movie 1984. We are living it now, and they are coming for your ass in several ways. And if you don't have God, you have no defense against what they're doing, because they obviously come from the standpoint there is no God. So since they say there's no God, they'll create one. The black woman is God. They love that. That sounds good. They get you a little credit in the conscious community. If you repeat that, the black woman is God. She'll agree with you because she has low self-esteem, and to make herself feel better, you got to tell her she's a God. And then God, the black God, stay crying racism. But if there is no God, there can't be any racism, because racism is relative. If there is no God, and anything can be racist and anything cannot be racist. It would just be a ridiculous world where critical thinking flew out the window. Oh, by the way, critical thinking will not exist in a socialist America. Let's go back to that list. You're not going to get this kind of conversation with clarity on any channel. I haven't heard any channel, and I'm just specifically talking about the conscious community. There are plenty of YouTube channels that deal with these topics in a way where they use critical thinking to express their ideas and give you an opportunity to grow your mental frame of mind, your reference points. It can happen. Are you listening anti-God, satanic, Sarnetta? Because I'm coming for your ass, boy, in due time. I'm just waiting to go to war. We just getting them chips stacked all the way to the ceiling. And when I got them up there to the top of the ceiling, I'm going to unleash this motherfucking dragon. And we going to tear you niggas up in a way that you ain't going to be able to stop it. You're going to be like, have you looked over there what the fuck he doing? See, I'm not just going to beat you up with a video talking about you. I'm going to beat you up with the action and what I'm doing. Define everything that you gonna want to contact me so bad. You're going to be like, this, I got to see what the fuck is going on. And it ain't going to stop. It's going to move in lightning speed when I do it. And since 2019, Alex T, I've been putting all the pieces of the puzzle together slowly. Because in order to cook this fish, we got to turn the heat down real low and let it simmer. Because there wasn't really too many channels that I can connect with that had any real shit going on. Everybody was trying to become popular, and they'll tell you anything to get popular. Anything. They will tell you there's a such thing as out-of-body experiences. And they will tell you anything. Let's see. Ain't that a bitch? I got blood raw truth trying to check me. That's like an ant trying to ruck up on an elephant and tell an elephant, stop eating all the fruit off the tree. I don't even think an elephant could hear an ant talk. That's what that sound like to me, blood root chalk. You like an ant. I can't even hear what the fuck you talking about. I will chin check your point of view 50 different ways. Beat you up till you stop thinking so that the rest of us could live comfortably. I don't care what you think, blood raw. It wouldn't matter what you say it is. I told you I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm not here for your donations. So therefore, I don't have to give a fuck what you talking about. I just could spit this shit out and let the chips fall where they may. Because the difference between you and Alex T is 10 bank accounts. It's all good, bro. You should know better than to jump in my chat room with a chipped lip, thinking you dropping some heat. You don't work. What does that have to do with anything, whether you work or not? What does that mean? You're successful? What does that say? That you got it made. You don't work, you got it made. You know what a motherfucker that don't work is? He's a slug. He's nothing. What good is being here if you ain't gonna get up and do something because you got it made? You sound like white people right now. I ain't doing shit. I'm gonna let the niggers do it. I got it made. Now the niggers sitting around talking about they ain't gotta do shit. I ain't gotta do shit. I got it made. Bitch, nigga, I work every motherfucking day. The only day I don't work, nigga, is when I can't get no money. That's the only motherfucking day I don't work. I don't count the money. I just pile that shit up. I don't give a fuck how much I got. I'm gonna get the fuck up and do some more shit because work is money, nigga. It is getting it made, nigga. Having something to do. You sitting around, ass getting wider than the chair you sitting on because you ain't got shit to do. You need something to do, nigga. Get your ass up, get out, and get something. You ain't never got it made, nigga. You a slave. I don't want to hear all this shit about, oh, I got the Bitcoin. I'm getting paid. I got some stock. Oh, I own some vending machines in the airport. Shut the fuck up. Get your ass the fuck up and do something you ain't never done. Who give a fuck what you got? Do you see me coming on here trying to express what I got? Do you see me on this motherfucker like, yo, I show y'all some shit here and there, but I don't really show you shit. I'm not trying to prove how well I'm doing, how bad I'm doing. I don't give a fuck. None of that make me who I am. Ever. That's why I get on this bitch and talk like I do, because I'm not my bankroll, nigga. I could be broke. I drill you niggas harder. I have more reason to drill you niggas harder. The reason why I laid off you niggas is because I ain't tripping. But if I was broke, you niggas would get the full blast. The full blast. I'll bring jacking back. I'll make jacking a full-time job around this motherfucker. I'll just look for passive niggas sitting around fatter than a fat rat in a cheese factory so I can slap the shit out of him and take all his shit because he ain't got no motherfucking drive in him. So he ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just fucking with you. Blood raw, I'm happy you ain't a slave to the rhythm. I'm just bullshitting, man. I just do that for fun, just to keep me sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in case Sinetta or somebody pop up in the motherfucking room. You gave me a little spar. I'm gonna call that a spar. I just used you. I just took some energy out on you that wasn't meant for you, but it's all good. It's all good. See, I done been through all that, Blood Raw. Elaborate more on the topic. Which topic, Alex T? I talk about a lot of things in a minute. In a New York minute, I run through a lot of subjects. You have to. Would you tell him to slow down? Cause ain't nobody. Alex T got plenty of money. You don't hear her. She's not interested in how passive your income is. That's not gonna get you no Alex T, buddy. You gotta be able to elaborate. What subject? I mean, which one? Which one? You want me to go back on the fossils? What you want me to do? Exactly what topic? Let's see. Well, Alex T is a he. It don't matter to me, whatever. Whichever. Let it be. How do I supposed to know? Everybody got fake accounts. These days, transgenders come in the form of everybody. I'ma just consider all of y'all transgenders. I don't know what you are anymore. All of you are transgenders. So I don't know what to call you by your pronoun. Let's see. The liberal agenda. Well, let me think of some of the information I've taken in the last 30 days to tell you how destructive it is, right? First of all, let me say this. For the people who are so deep sleep that Trump was a racist, that the Republicans got it wrong, that socialism is better direction, Biden is the perfect candidate to show us what socialism can do as he gets ready to super destroy this economy. Super destroy it. So the liberal agenda goes like this. To the liberals, biblical morality is the enemy of socialism. The idea of a biblical morality cannot exist. So therefore, the number one enemy of the liberals is biblical morality. Has to be destroyed. There cannot be such a thing that you can't be free to be who you want to be and live how you want to live. If you want to be a boy, but you're really a biological girl, that's okay. This is the liberal agenda, right? This is what they tell us is our new future. You got to change all the signs on the bathroom door. You can't have the male females anymore. You got to have a transgender bathroom. Because there are people who have bumped their head and they do not want you to point out the big ass bump on their head. That's racist. So the liberal agenda also cannot have you highly intelligent, because if the community was highly intelligent, it wouldn't go for the propaganda. So recently, a channel called Project Veritas just super duper exposed the liberal CNN channel, the fake news channel. And they sent an undercover, just type in Project Veritas, go to the channel and watch, or type in hashtag expose CNN. And you will see they created one of those dating site accounts, put a fine chick on it until one of the producers of CNN asked her out on a date. I mean, how deep can you go? I'm on a fucking dating site trying to get your ass. And so he went on a blind date, but this was a Project Veritas insider journalist doing a secret report with cameras and filmed this fool saying that they use propaganda to get Trump out of office. They say that the COVID deaths, they magnified the COVID deaths, that they were trying to sell fear. Now, this is not like new information. This is old information being recorded by CNN executives. It was just damaging. And Project Veritas is suing the New York Times for defamation, and Twitter and Facebook and all of these socialist big tech companies who want to control every aspect of your life. This is why, Alex T, you need to go watch 1984. Even if you've seen it, you need a refresh course. Then go watch Brave New World, which is a similar movie, coming from a slightly different point of view, but getting to the same end point. And then I got a lot more shit that I could talk about. But I don't feel like really going so deep on my YouTube that I go get my laptop and start pulling up video clips and bringing in editing, and just to put all this work in for people who just do not want to support real information. So I just do some quick stuff where you got to do your own research now. Pitt Boss is not going to get the 60-minute clip that you need to hear. I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you what to go pull up so you can go a little deeper on your own accord. But Pitt Boss ain't doing a goddamn thing but passive thinking. Boy, I tell you. Well, let's see. I've been on this goddamn thing way too long. And all my haters who tune in, I see you. I know you're there. And I know you're trying to find a little clip that you can go do a whole show about and try to act like you wasn't over here on my channel with a notepad. Go do what you got to do and handle your business, because you still ain't going to catch me. You still ain't nowhere near what I'm on. And Blood Raw Truth, you could call it ego all you want. I let the videos speak for the videos. I let them I got so many videos, y'all forgot about my shit. If I go start unlocking these videos just to bring all that shit back up to par, to where you be like, damn, I forgot he did this. Oh shit, I forgot he covered that. Too many to count. I got some more leads for you, Alex T. So we got Project Veritas. You need to run over there and check out the last 15 videos. He's killing it. Killing it. There's another cat. He's a ex-CIA guy. I'm trying to remember his name, fully remember his name. I think it's Skip. I don't know. You can email me if you want, and I'll send you some stuff. 99lightyears@gmail.com. You don't gotta call. I don't have to know that you're a 58-year-old Albanian living in America. Just email me, yo Pitt, this Alex T, hit me with the clips. I'm gonna flood your inbox full of shit that you'll be watching this till I go live again, which will be weeks and weeks and weeks away. Trust me. When I turn this one off, you won't get another. No time soon. I promise you, I got shit to do. I promise you. In the meantime, oh, this is how you can find the CIA guy. This is the only clip I know. He got a video called Subversion of America. Just type in CIA agent subversion of America and his shit will pop up, and just click on that video and watch him go in. And he was paid to do this shit as a CIA agent. He was paid. He was undermined by the CIA to try to kill his family, everything. He got all of it on record. Go listen to him. See if what he says agree with the liberal agenda or the Republican agenda. Just, do your own critical thinking. For all of you other quiet listeners, listen in on the background, because you tired of listening to the foolishness out there of these other channels. This one's for you. This is what you need to do. This is the video you need to go watch, because some of that shit might be too deep for you. But I know what kind of information y'all might be, willing to absorb that will get you caught up on a See, right now, information is highly political, but not the level of Fox News and CNN political. That's the propaganda. You need the truthers that really break down politics so that you can get an idea of where it's at. Well, I'm always have to mention Thomas Sowell. You should always be watching a Thomas Sowell clip. Is he just not gonna get? I mean, he's still here. He's like 90 years old, still dropping books, but he could be out of here any given moment. And he's still coming with it on every subject. So you can always just type in Thomas Sowell and they got all kind of people who are now trying to promote him. So there's a lot of channels called Thomas Sowell TV, Thomas Sowell this, and they're just using clips that he put out over the years to address current situations, because he gives the most clarity on this information, backed by facts. Backed by facts. Which the left is not into facts. But I think most important to understand the agenda is to really just go watch breakdowns on 1984, different YouTube channels that then put what is the movie 1984 about. And they give you breakdowns on the philosophy that's shown in the movie. And when you listen to the philosophy, you can understand the liberals' agenda. It's like they use this breakdown as their blueprint. Lastly, what's your thoughts on these police shootings and misgivings with the black community? That's what I call turn CNN the fuck off, and you won't even know that police is killing nobody, because the amount of people getting shot by the police is so irrelevant that shouldn't be what you're talking about. I mean, if you ain't gonna ask me about the niggas shooting the niggas, we shouldn't even be talking about nobody getting shot. You can't compare thousands of motherfuckers shot to one or two people getting shot. That's bullshit. What the fuck I'm gonna talk about stepping on the ant for when we just killed the elephant? It's irrelevant. Police shooting people is irrelevant. It's not enough to have a conversation about. Get the death toll up a little higher and we can discuss it. But 1 out of 10 million motherfuckers is not conversation. As many people are dying, as much bullshit that's going on. You're supposed to take the worst problems of a community and deal with the worst shit first. You don't supposed to be talking about the least of our problems and make that your focus on what we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about the biggest problems first and put them in priority from the biggest to the least. And if you do it that way, we ain't gonna be talking about police killing anybody. That's propaganda. That's what I think about that. That's dumb shit to even be thinking about because that's what they want you to think about, because that gets you all emotionally polarized. But I could tell you about all these niggas running around here shooting niggas over weed, like 2 ounces of weed. Or just some girl that didn't want to give him some pussy, so he shot her. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna address that, go join Black Lives Matter. And you know, get your gay flag out and go to Sonetta and buy you a Black Power hat and take your ass out on the street corner. Otherwise, I don't. The police is safer than these niggas. How about that? That's what I think about it. On some Israel doctrine type shit. I hope the police come over here and kill all you niggas. I know this. If the police stop you, Alex T, shut the fuck up. Get your wallet out. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Turn the car off. Roll all the motherfucking windows down. And tell these motherfuckers you would like to follow whatever rules. And live to see another motherfucking day. I am the digital motherfucking pit boss. Keep it 100.